Yo, what's going on, Don? What's going on, Dominic? Everyone who's tuning in. Wait for a couple more people to get in here. Uh,
All right. Y'all ready, huh? Somebody got there. The mic's ready, Nick?
Yeah, you guys are
Oh, okay. What's going on out there, guys? Welcome, another edition. You guys know what it is. Shopkulture. Every Tuesday, 8 o'clock. We back. We here. We got a special guest. I'm going to introduce him in a second, but I'm joined by the tag team man over here. You know who he is. That's the doc. You ever tell him?
What's up, people? How's everybody doing? We want to hear tonight. What's on your mind?
We good, man. I'm joined by a special guest who's gonna discuss, we're gonna bring some barbershop discussion tonight, which is always good. My boy Zach. Say hello, Zach.
My name's Zach.
And then we got the producer extraordinaire back there. That's Mr. Nick Jones.
Hey, what's going on? Okay, now I know where I'm at. All right, what's going on, y'all? I'm over here trying to figure out what mic I am.
Oh, okay.
All right, so Zach, you're plug 3.
All right.
De La Soul reference.
Oh, I was gonna say, get it. Hey, does anybody know, did LeBron do it yet?
Somebody said he already did.
Did he do it?
He's either he already did it or he's on his way to doing it. It's inevitable. If it hasn't happened, it's gonna happen.
Man, I'm just looking because I want to make sure to be part of history. Man, so many people be hating on that man too.
Dude, what are we talking? What did I miss?
Man, scoring champ.
Yeah.
And hit all the time.
Oh yeah, he got that. He needs 16.
He got it.
Yeah.
LeBron James.
Somebody said tonight is the night.
It will never happen again in our lifetime, or my lifetime. So that's an incredible feat. So props out to LeBron.
What's going on, Ara Marie?
Make sure you guys, when you guys are tuning in, because we get a lot of comments, be patient with us. We're gonna try to get to it. If not, we're gonna off the air. We'll definitely get to the comments.
Yeah.
And we really appreciate it. And thank you guys for always tuning in.
Y'all know how.
Make sure you guys say hello, before we get everything going. And how was your weekend? How was your weekend? Talk to me.
I had a good chill weekend, Just relaxed pretty much in the winter time.
In the cut, huh?
Yeah.
That's what I did too. I didn't do nothing. I stayed in the house all weekend.
We did go out Saturday night for a little fun.
Where you guys go?
To the Esquire.
Oh,
yeah, I got to get down there.
It was
We're gonna have to invade the Esquire.
You got to be. Do you have to be a member to do that?
No. It hasn't been like that since my dad. My dad was old president down there at the Esquire Club.
DomsPudding.com, man. Y'all check that out. Check it out.
Zach, how was your weekend?
My weekend was pretty good. Spent it mostly with my wife. Made some food, watched some shows. Real chill.
What show?
Right now we are watching White Lotus on HBO.
That's supposed to be the show. White Lotus
show.
Yeah, I've been hearing. I'm gonna have to get on that. It's second season, right?
Yep, it's 2 seasons.
Okay. Yeah, I'm on The Godfather of Harlem right now.
That's what I'm watching too.
That's my show.
Ooh, I can't wait till season 3 starts. I'm all cut up on that one.
Wait, which one?
Godfather of Harlem.
It's already started.
Season 3?
No, it didn't. I'm watching it right now.
It's already started. He said he hasn't started.
Season 3.
All I see. Okay, you said it's already started.
Yeah, we are on season 3 right now, are we?
All I got is 2 seasons.
Oh, maybe not. Maybe it's only 2 seasons. But I thought it. Well, anyways, yeah, it's a dope show, y'all. If you checked out Godfather of Harlem, you got to check it out. It's about loosely based on the life of Bumpy Johnson.
Bumpy Johnson, yes.
One of the OGs, original.
Yeah.
Who mentored Frank Lewis.
Frank Lucas. Yeah.
Lucas.
Yeah. So, anyways, check that out.
BMF too. BMF.
Okay. Oh, I'm on BMF.
Yeah, everybody said that's really good.
I gotta compartmentalize. So it's like I gotta finish the Godfather Harlem, right? That's what it's called.
Godfather Harlem.
I gotta finish that, and then I'm gonna get on over to BMF because I just finished up getting caught up on Snowfall.
Snowfall is like one of my top 5 of all time.
I think
it goes to The Wire. One. The Wire is the greatest show ever.
Yeah.
Greatest show ever. It's The Wire.
Yeah.
And then Snowfall is quickly climbing, ascending up there. It's good.
And the era of television, man. Because
right now it's great.
Because you had Sopranos, Oz, and then The Wire.
Yeah, but I would say like in today's time because there's so much great.
I was
TV.
gonna ask out of those three, what would you rank those?
Which ones you say it again?
So Oz, The Wire, and then The Sopranos.
Wire, Oz, and Sopranos.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, Oz is off the hook too.
What's popping? What's popping? Facebook.
What's good, man? Thank you,
right.
guys. Thank you.
So while we're on the, or was you gonna? Yeah.
Well, no, I was waiting.
So yeah, while we're
gonna
on
talk
the,
a little Grammys real quick.
We're already on pop culture stuff. Yeah, I just got done watching the I only watched the Jay-Z performance, the God did performance.
The greatest
performance. I'm just it's gonna be a no from me.
I enjoyed that.
You better.
That was one of the better parts with the DJ Colin at the table and
the whole Last Supper thing.
Yeah.
I just didn't. Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
I'm gonna go with Nick on that.
God MC, which you're supposed to feel like that in hip hop. You're supposed to feel like, but sometimes I feel like Jay-Z he be taking a little bit too far. But Last Supper. I don't think he's the first one to do that though. I think, now I'm talking about it. I think Kendrick did this. I think he did it. I think he did it in it was a video. Damn, what was the song? DNA.
Okay.
I think if I go back,
Kendrick is raw, man.
Yeah.
He is raw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with Nick. I thought it was just kind of like,
I like Jay-Z as a businessman. I've never been able to get into him like as far as the mic is concerned. I just I don't understand. Maybe it's because I'm a West Coast kid. I don't know, but I just was never.
He came around at a great time too, like with the unfortunate passing of Biggie and Pac. Yeah. It was a wide open. It was almost like a layup. That's how I see it. So T, First Lady is in Texas. What's up, T?
Because would Jay-Z even be relevant if Big was alive? If Pac was still here? I don't think so.
He'd be a top.
I think
top
he
five.
Wouldn't be as relevant. I'm not going to say he wouldn't be in the game, but I don't think he'd be where he's at. I don't know. I don't think he'd be where he's at now. And I'm a fan. I'm a fan as far as like, especially him as a businessman. But like when it comes to the mic, when it comes to hip hop, I don't. If they were still here, I don't think that he'd be in that position.
You don't think so? Yeah.
Nah.
What do y'all think, man? What do you guys think about the performance? Put it down there.
Did anybody check out the Grammys at all? I stopped watching the Grammys a long time ago.
It was kind of my first time probably, and I was loosely watching.
They had like a 50-year I don't know if it was an impromptu reunion where they had everybody on stage.
Now that was an awesome performance.
Did you see that?
Yeah,
I didn't see it.
That was an incredible performance. But I just think the show was too damn long. It was damn near 4 hours.
See, yeah.
Well, they were talking about, okay, what about Beyonce? What was going on?
What about her?
They were upset. What was the?
They got mad the Beehive got mad because she got snubbed because Harry Styles.
KB, what's up, bro?
Harry Styles ended up, I guess, winning over whatever category they were in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like she's
damn near.
She has the most Grammys ever. Like out of anybody who's ever won a Grammy, she's like
up there, right?
Yeah,
she got the record for the most Grammys ever won.
Right. So it's just like I don't even think she was worried about it. I was like, go ahead and have it's a one-off. Go ahead and have it.
That he helped rile him up a little by saying that this type of thing doesn't happen to people like him.
Oh, he did say that.
He did say that.
Yeah.
Things like this
damn.
always happen.
Oh wow.
To people like him.
Come on. Yeah, see, I'm glad you pointed that out, Zach. I didn't know that. I didn't know. I had no idea.
Well, that's not probably the most best thing to say. Because
pokes the Beehive.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
He is English. He is British. Maybe he just doesn't know.
Does anybody like his music though here? Has anybody heard
Harry Styles? That joint that he got right, as it was, I like that song.
I just find it fascinating. Like people were like trying to down his music. I'm like, well, the brother, he sounds pretty good.
No, he's decent.
Yeah, he sounds good. He can. So, anyways, Beyonce will be okay.
I mean, like I said, she's not tripping.
Yeah.
Why is she charging $5,000 and $8,000 for concert tickets?
Because her cult following is going to pay that.
It's also not her choosing the price.
Isn't it secondary? It seems like it's secondary resellers.
There's a monopoly on who sells tickets, so the seller gets to choose the price.
Oh,
not the performer.
There you go.
There you go.
But at a point, the performer can come in and say, "Look, this is ridiculous."
That's the thing. There's debate about that.
Yeah, and my fans that made me, not only some can't, but aren't going to pay those kind of prices.
Doc, in a perfect world.
Beyonce's
tried that,
fans,
actually.
Beyonce's
They
fans
did.
is paying that.
How'd that work out?
People,
It didn't work out.
Wait, who did?
Pearl
What?
Jam tried that out. They tried to fight the labels, and they tried
That
to
was
say,
years ago, wasn't
yeah,
it?
it was a long time ago. And
I think it can try it now, though. I think it might be a little bit different now.
it might be.
You
It's
know,
worth
with-
it to try.
Yeah,
well,
with
yeah, you got all
streamings and
these, you got all these lawsuits. Drez from what's that hip hop collective? I know you know who this is. I forget what his name is. They got this thing, or I forget the hip hop group that he's with. And it's
Yeah,
on
fill
the-
me in.
It's on the tip of my tongue. His name is Drez, Dres.
I
Yeah, I
wanna
feel
say-
like you should.
He's
know
from
this.
Seattle, right?
You should know.
Oh,
This is the New York dude.
oh, okay. I'm not even.
Man,
I might have to check it out.
I don't know.
Okay, well, we'll come back to it. But I think, yeah, something needs, because I do somewhat agree. But at what point do you think somebody like a Beyonce cares enough to change the system like that? Because that's ultimately what you're asking Beyonce to do. And I don't know if that's, she's still going to get paid.
Black Sheep. He's a part of the hip hop collective Black Sheep.
Black
and they,
Sheep, okay.
and they have a ongoing legal battle. It's like $70 million at stake,
Wow.
where they're getting at the label that they were with
Mhm.
for unpaid royalties. And if they win that is going
That's
to
gonna
be
change
a
the game, man.
monumental win for music, period. You know, so
Well, something needs to change, and I do agree with what you're saying. And it probably was going to have to start with an artist as big as like a Beyonce. What do you?
Absolutely.
The
Question is, will they?
and that's when.
Yeah. Why would they?
Why would they? So
It's just ridiculous. So how many of you guys are in the Beehive? How many of our listeners are in the Beehive or going
isn't
out
there an age
there?
limit for? Because I don't think I
yes, from Black Sheep, yes.
Yeah.
Are you going out to take a loan out for $6,000 to go get a couple of Beyonce tickets? Oh, $12,000. You can't go by yourself.
Yeah, that's. Wait, who's even going?
Is your savings taking a $12,000 hit to go see Beyonce
I mean, but if you're a
for
fan,
3 hours?
but people go to the Super Bowl, they go
Get
to
outta
other,
here,
they go
bro.
to sporting events too. So I guess it's just depends on what you like. Super Bowl, Seahawks go back to the Super Bowl. What was the max you would pay to go see the Hawks in the Super Bowl? 10 racks?
It's probably as much as it cost me to sit on my couch
Man,
with
it's
some
nothing-
snacks and a beer.
man, I don't know, Doc. You got
Hey, yo, KB, I agree with you, man. I'm definitely going to see all of them. Well, I don't know about LMI, but her and Normani, oh yeah, definitely going to see that. SZA too.
hers off the chain.
Oh yeah.
Yep,
Oh.
he was on my expert opinion with Math Hoffa. Check him out.
Wait.
Check him out.
Kalina says, "Are you serious? Your job will pay for the tickets? You better go." Wow.
Some people just don't care about Beyonce like that.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I never. Her music is cool. I never seen the hype. That's just me.
Right.
I don't want her fans canceling us out, but each is their own. So
right. That's
Listen,
what I say. But Beyonce's just got to miss me.
yeah, that's crazy.
Taylor Swift tried to pull this shit off too. It's like, ain't nobody going to see you for no $2,000. Like,
Who?
stop it.
Which one?
Taylor Swift.
I don't know. She's pretty big, man. Some people, it's amazing. So
I don't know. But yeah, the Grammys performances, I didn't get a chance to see them, but I did check out Jay-Z's performance on that God Did joint. The setup was, again, it had the Last Supper setup. He was doing his thing, and yeah, I mean, it's Jay-Z, man. He doesn't really do it for me when it comes to like live performances. That energy isn't really there. I mean, obviously he's on the mic doing his thing. He got the chops, obviously, but it's just like, I don't know. I like when I see a performance, I like what Kendrick does when he's on stage, or even what Pac was doing when he was on stage.
yeah, the energy Pac brings brought to the
Busta Rhymes, there's got to be an energy about you. There's got to be a presence. Stage presence is like everything. And
yeah. I was telling you, Most Def was probably one of the dopest ones I've seen.
I've never seen
Yeah,
Step
he
Live.
what's up, Chris? Chris McCain in the building. So anyways,
All right, well, that does it for the intro.
that's all good, man.
Go ahead and let y'all.
Let's get to some good
let
so
y'all
we
get
want to
the
talk
actual
about
topic. Hold on, let me get the
Okay.
banner going so that everybody knows what's going on.
while you're doing that, I just want to talk about me and my man Zach. When he comes in, we about 2-hour conversations and always kind of talk about the same thing. We discuss a lot, politics.
Yes, Larry June. Yep.
And Larry June. Politics and just like what's going on economically wise in our country. And so when I thought about this, I was like, Zach, we want to talk about outsourcing.
I set my timer because
and the effects of outsourcing. Is it good? Is it bad? The future of outsourcing. And talk about how this country, I mean, compared to other countries, we outsource. Man. Is there any other country that outsource more than we do?
Not a single one.
Not a single one.
We outsource the most.
So my question is, how did America get evolved from the 50s and the 60s where we were producers, we were mass producers of automobiles, steel, textiles, to complete 180 to we're a consumer as a country.
Greed.
We are a consumer.
Greed and cheap. What do you think, Zach?
Yeah, definitely greed. It comes down to if you are hiring somebody to do a job for a certain amount of money, and then you find that somebody else is willing to do it for cheaper elsewhere, why wouldn't you use that cheaper labor? And as many other countries, especially China, were able to kind of move through their industrial age, and suddenly they had an available workforce and the resources to do that labor. So it became cheaper to send it over there instead of using it in-house. Creates cheaper products and more profits for the people who own those companies.
So,
do we blame? Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, clearly we can produce the same products, but not at the
rate.
cheap price.
Yeah.
So do you think union labor in America had a lot to do with that?
Union labor had been around for a long time before
Even
outsourcing
before that,
became a thing.
yeah.
And there was even more militant well before the outsourcing became a problem. The union labor creates this power dynamic between the owner of the company and the laborers themselves, so that they have a bit of a say in how things go. It does raise the cost of labor, but at the end of the day, it comes down to whether the union was there or not. You can't afford to live in America on the wages they can pay elsewhere.
Kenneth, real quickly, has a really good comment. Outsourcing work hurts union jobs at the max. You agree with that?
Oh yeah. It's hard to look at how unions are now and without looking at the way they've been gutted since the 70s and 80s. The move to outsourcing, the push for cheaper labor moves alongside the death of union power.
Yeah.
And so what we end up with today, the unions of today are not the same unions of even 30 years ago.
Well, they align themselves with political sides too,
Yeah.
which is a lot different than it was in the 20s, 30s, and 40s. I was just even reading that where we had our own. They had their own political. This is one of the issues I think that's happening, because I actually think that unions' power is really kind of decreased.
It's gone. They have almost no power compared to what they used to. And that started in, I think it was the 90s, when there was an air traffic control strike, and the president fired all of them.
Yeah.
And starting then, it was a slow death knell for the power of a union, because why couldn't you go on strike? Why go on strike when you can just get fired?
The other question I had, and even going back to this, I remember growing up, it used to be a point about American-made products. What happened there? Because people used to actually look at that and make their purchases when it said American-made. That was a big deal. Why has that stopped?
It's hard to find American-made products anymore. When a company starts outsourcing and they start making more money and they can sell for cheaper, all the companies that do American-made can't compete anymore. And if they want to stay in business, they have to send their labor over to China or Philippines or wherever else they can find cheap labor.
Mexico right now.
India, Mexico, lots of places. China was one of the first, but they're not the only ones, especially nowadays. In fact, we no longer outsource most of our labor to China anymore.
It's what country is it?
It's Mexico, Philippines, and India are the
Oh,
three.
Mexico. I didn't even know.
Mexico.
I had no idea.
I know for the auto is
Yeah.
Mexico right now. Well, even auto the planes, Boeing. Some of Boeing's plants are in Mexico now. This dynamic, and I want to bring it up because I'm just noticing. We were talking about what was going on with the McDonald's down in Texas, which is all robotic now, and how you actually agreed and liked the automation when it comes to those type of
certain things. Yeah,
certain things.
I was with you on that one too, Zach. Yeah.
See, and I disagree. Now, why you liked automation on that?
Automation solves our problems. When we start to see it as a problem is because it's the relationship that the workers have with their jobs.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at an automation taking away your job, you get mad at the automation instead of the system that took away your job or put you in a situation where there are no alternatives to for your labor. It's not the machine that's the problem.
Yeah, but the problem is it's not the machine, but people are going to, the first thing people see is the machine, though.
They look at the machine as
they'll get used to it.
Yeah, they'll get used to it. Just like we did with using your apps for everything.
Right.
Yeah, we didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Smartphones are, I would say, still apps and smartphones are still like fairly, it's still a new thing because apps are, you got apps for any and everything. And there's still apps being cranked out for any and everything.
It's only been about 12, 13 years.
Exactly. So that's why I was saying it's still kind of like a fairly new, game or whatever. Let me read this real quick.
Oh, okay.
Kalina says some states outsource their EBT call centers to other countries. The irony of U.S. citizens that are either unemployed or underemployed having to speak to a representative in another country doing a job that they could be doing right here in the U.S. That's
the irony.
And see, with stuff like that, it's just like, God, get it together.
All of this is happening. And you look at where is all of this wealth going? We live in the richest country in the world. In the history of the world.
You want to go?
Yeah,
Zach, we were just talking about it.
Okay,
where is it going?
That's one of the big things is you look at the winners and losers of outsourcing, and suddenly it makes sense. It's like, why is this happening? It's like, well, certain people are making a lot of money off of it.
A lot of money.
Those people have power.
Right. Politicians.
But do we see anything changing for the worker? Because that's
for the worse, yeah. They no longer have jobs.
But is there a way out?
But is there going to be, there has to be a way out because you look at it in the next, I would say 15, 20 years. Like, what are people going to do?
They're going to have to start picking up books and reading and getting some gumption about them and getting a trade or getting into something that can, that'll be beneficial to them to keep them not even just afloat, but just living a decent life to where they're not stressing about resources, money, having to provide for their families. Like, you're gonna have to, like I was just saying when we were off air, the pandemic was a bittersweet thing for me because it allowed us to the nation had to sit down some damn where for a year, and you either figured it out or you were just, kind of sitting on your ass and not doing nothing, just hoping and wishing for something to happen. Me, I started learning how to code. So, there's a lot of stories where people were just like picking up new trades and getting into niche markets to where it's just you got to get creative. Like even what I'm doing right now with running this show, you podcasts, and there's podcasts all over the place now. And that's podcasting is still kind of like the Wild West. It's a burgeoning thing where you can now get paid. You can now your platform can get paid, and it can become a brand. But there's you have to. There's still kind of like a SOP going on where there's these steps that you have to take in order to become a successful podcaster. And so you have people now that are just like, well, I need a guy to run sound. I need somebody to come in and light up the spot. I need a videographer. And a lot of these cats during the pandemic was making a good amount of money doing just that, No,
I agree with you. I still think, though, I worry about industry because I think eventually some industries are going to be cut.
What do you mean cut?
Well, I just don't think they're going to be relevant no more. I mean, I think
in this country,
I think
It's already happened to a lot of them.
well, they're okay. So
Didn't that just happen with the big tech?
Sorta. Big tech.
Didn't they just cut like have massive like a
the
crazy?
entire industry had an average about 11% workforce layoffs across the board.
Okay.
And that's all just proactive looking.
well, they were trying to blame the recession too.
Well, yeah, they're looking ahead and they're trying to like
The
figure out what their
forecast.
expenses are going to look like in their forecast.
Yeah.
The tech companies are all just a bubble.
Well, we knew
There's
that
no
too,
real
though.
value there.
Yeah, well, we knew that. But that's what I'm saying. I mean, a lot of times we're pushing our children, or when you guys have kids, pushing our kids to go into tech. Well, okay, you go into tech. It's probably not. It's probably going to be a lot different by the time they get out of school. So that's what I keep on saying. The only thing I think that's going to really survive is going to be like service industry.
The gig economy. I think the gig economy is what's filling its place. You get all these people who work just enough hours to pay their bills, but have nothing.
Nothing.
Else.
But even worse, they have no social security. They have no 401k.
No healthcare.
Healthcare, because healthcare prices are just crazy. So I almost think that we're worse now, even with machinery, with computers and everything else. It's almost like we're worse.
Oh man, do you see what's going on with AI,
Oh yeah.
Zach? Oh, my
yeah.
Right. It's crazy.
They have like a thing now where
Chat GBT.
The chat, that's the one right there.
Yeah.
That thing is just
Somebody broke that down though.
What did they say?
A guy who was actually, I wish I would have like actually got the report to read what he said, because obviously I didn't, I don't remember it, but just to like paraphrase as best I can, he was like, "Yeah, that's nothing really to worry about, because you have to." Man, I wish I had the actual quote, but his thing was that's not anything to really worry about, because
I disagree.
well, I mean, I like to listen to cats that are in tech, who like know what's actually going on. So, and he's one of those cats. That's why I wish I actually had that damn article.
Yeah, the thing about ChatGPT and the current iterations of AI is a lot of people have this idea of what AI is in their head based on media. The reality, movies, yeah. The reality is that AI in this iteration with ChatGPT and all the art stuff that comes on, it's just machine learning and algorithms. People program it to use a database of information to try and put together, like they plan out all these sentence structures and say, here's the possible things it can say.
Right.
And then they give it more freedom to learn from these massive libraries so it can be a little more flexible with the rules given to it. That's all it is.
Well, the problem is kids are picking it up, so kids are not really doing any studying or any.
But professors can tell.
You would
not all of them, not all of them.
Yeah,
but look at this situation where it's like that's always been the case. We've always been able to cheat. It's just how much work does it take?
Yeah,
and AI is also creating art and sculptures.
That's what I was.
The 3D homes is
I was just about to go into that, because they have like a lawsuit now that they're developing out in San Francisco that's targeting these, because there was this I think it's called Prism. Like there was this wave of AI art going around on Facebook where everybody was just giving their pictures away to see their likeliness in different in AI art. And there's a lot of artists that took issue with that. And so now they're developing like this lawsuit right now as we speak. They're developing a lawsuit against that to go to counterattack these companies that are allowing.
Have you guys seen the 3D homes? The 3D homes.
Oh yeah,
it's like massive copyright infringement, if you will.
The copyright infringement, because what did I just say that AI was using a repository to combine things. Right. So it's essentially using these artists' artwork without their consent.
Exactly.
To create new art.
Exactly.
You can discuss that whole debate thing, but that's why these artists are mad.
Ooh, well, you ain't getting paid for the likeliness. Yeah, I can see why I would be upset.
And it's not just the likeliness. It'd be like people give these AI art things prompts, and then it spits out a piece of art that used somebody else's artwork to create something slightly different. It's the whole copy my homework, but change it.
Right, right.
Yeah, same idea.
Because you can put a sentence in, say, paint me a picture of a horse-drawn carriage crossing a pasture in the sunset in the style of Van Gogh.
Yeah.
And it'll spit it out. And corporate architects are using this for big projects for their art budget in these big projects like skyscrapers in Dubai, and where they have all this beautiful art in the lobby.
So somebody's job is getting cut.
Right.
That's
so and that's the issue. That's what I'm saying. Somebody's job is getting cut.
I see a bigger issue as we are automating the things that make us human, art, instead of the things that we don't want to do,
Right.
like taking out the garbage.
Well, how about kids working at McDonald's?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's a job nobody wants. Doesn't really pay enough.
No, but it's a good first job for some
There's
kids.
other good first jobs. My first job.
Okay.
My first job wasn't McDonald's.
And at the same,
McDonald's. I can't even
But
get the damn word out.
But
I worked at a car wash.
Do you think McDonald's is a good first job?
Yeah, I mean,
I would think so.
You learn
The
responsibility, work ethic, and
Times are changing though.
It could be
There's
any
other
place.
things that they could be.
doesn't have to be
There's other
McDonald's.
things that they
Yeah.
right.
So you guys are fine with that?
Yeah.
See,
Well, kids,
see,
like I said, kids are getting into other stuff. Like they're making more than what they would if they wouldn't worked at McDonald's getting into these niche markets.
Yeah.
Like these kids are. I thought we were saucy on the internet back in high school. These kids, man,
no,
over here creating just.
But not every
Just
kid can
creating.
create. But most kids can work at McDonald's.
Most kids don't want to work at McDonald's.
Well, hey,
but I get what you're saying.
They
I
can't.
get what you're saying.
what I'm saying, the choice, they have a choice though.
they have a choice.
Now you don't.
But then they have, with that choice, there are other options as well, like sitting in your room creating and selling NFTs or something.
Yeah.
Oh.
Participating in scams.
Oh.
Right.
Oh, what you think NFTs are scams?
100%.
What?
I'm in the tech world, so like,
Oh,
it's a Ponzi scheme, straight up and down.
Oh.
There's no real value. It's
Nick,
all
I-
about perceived
right.
value.
No, Nick,
That's
It's
the
all
whole.
about
That's the
rewards to
whole.
next
That's the
person.
whole point of
Yeah,
NFTs.
buy low,
though.
sell high.
It's the value you put into it. It's art. It's digital
not art.
but there's
It is
nothing.
Okay, it's technically art. The NFT is
Some
art.
would argue
The JPEG is art. The NFT is not.
the concept is the NFT. The
I like
concept.
it.
The concept. It's the it's the
If
whole concept
NFTs
of it
were
all.
used to
I mean, they're
make like a real artist be able to profit from their own art,
Then
I
it'd
could
be
get
different.
behind it. But right now, it's only being used as a money laundering system.
mm,
So
A
It's
good
interesting.
money and it's top notch.
it's interesting.
until it collapses.
Someone just purchased real estate through NFT in Florida last year. The first real estate purchased
Using NFT.
using NFT.
Complete?
They put everything
Everything
like,
in it?
Yeah, the contract and how you usually do that stuff is like they just compacted it all into it.
I'd have to see that. That's
It's a
it.
hot potato, though. At some point, someo's going to get caught with the bag.
I mean, that's kind of already started.
It already
happening,
started.
right?
That's what I'm saying.
That's the problem. It already started like that.
FTX.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, we got a lot of. I'm sorry, guys. We get kind of. This is. What
No,
happened.
I got the timer going, so
Oh,
we're
okay,
good.
but in
So we
terms of
good.
comments, we got a lot of comments.
We got
up there.
3.5 minutes.
Guys, thank you guys for tuning in. This is Shop Culture every Tuesday at 8. What you guys
I'm
think?
gonna take it from the top.
Okay.
That's my sound.
What did you
Well,
say on
you're-
there? I can't see.
I'm about to read
Okay.
it right now. Kenneth says the COVID pandemic expedited a lot of these moves with tech jobs. Echo says being a warehouse coordinator at the port, a lot of the carriers who work for us have stopped using dispatchers from the U.S. and have
Wow.
dispatchers who run from overseas instead because this allows them to pay less and keep profit.
Damn.
I didn't even know that.
Man, how you feel about that, Echo? What is your man? What's your thoughts about that?
Corporations will do whatever is necessary to cut costs and make profit. Capitalism is all about the exploitation of labor.
But how much profit? I mean,
It's enough
with
to
the
keep people-
CEO
enough to keep
compared to
people
the
struggling.
janitor, it's like it's not even in the same vicinity. It's just crazy.
Tech was the only
We're
industry
okay with
that was
that.
hiring / growing during COVID. They're still meeting their financial goals, just shifting focus and trimming the fat. It's a scary time to be in tech because all the big players are laying off.
India.
People make choices based on the options available to them. Cryptocurrency is a scam. There's no value to it. It's not backed by the full faith and credit of a country.
I remember we had this discussion last year.
I can't agree with that.
There's banks. There's
Wait,
banks
hold
getting
on.
into that.
There is.
There's banks getting into
These
it.
banks are taking unnecessary risks.
So-
in what they're doing.
And they're not. What bank? I want to know what banks.
I know Chase is getting has gotten behind.
So
it.
having access to a crypto exchange is different than buying crypto and selling it.
It's two different
owning a
things.
crypto exchange gives you the profit. You can basically skim a profit, kind of like how credit card companies do now.
Off
So-
the transaction.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically, they're saying, "Oh, I know this is a scam. I don't care it's a scam because I can still make a profit off it, even and not get caught."
But they're not getting lost. They're not getting
But-
lost with it.
Money is a scam.
That was
Also
to my
true.
point. That was to my point. Because
What
Are we-
is?
wait.
what
Are we
is-
comparing money?
what
We're
is
comparing money to
what is the fiat?
cryptocurrency?
yeah, I mean,
Yes.
because
Okay.
it's all perception. because we have this Federal Reserve note
Mhm.
that we perceive is worth trading for tangible goods and services.
Mhm.
That's what we perceive it. But if you say, if you have $100,000 in cash, or if you have $10 million in cash and go to the government and say, I want my $10 million in gold, you think that $10 million in gold, because this Federal Reserve note represents gold. It's backed by gold that the U.S. is supposed to be holding.
When you bought your house, would you use crypto or you used?
Somebody did buy their house in
I'm
Maryland.
not saying somebody. I'm saying.
I'm just saying it's possible.
Okay. Nigga will bring me that one person over in Montana that bought the. No.
If one person can do it, it's possible.
I'm just saying.
I'm going to say
crypto.
I bought a few Bitcoins in 2018 at
I don't know. We had this discussion.
$750.
We had this discussion
and sold them 9 months later for $19,800 each.
I mean,
I was scared. I should have held on to it, but I got scared. But it was enough money for me.
Listen, 19. Listen, Doc.
I
say you made out good.
Right.
Return on investment.
Zach, what do you think about crypto?
So the whole thing about like money, crypto, etc. There's the whole idea of using a government to back a currency to turn it into money, because currency and money are actually two different things. Currency is the objects we use. Money is the agreement of the power that currency holds. So money itself is also a scam because it creates a system where money is power. And it's not just about how many dollars you have, but about how much power your dollars have.
And that's what it.
So would you agree that that is what they are trying to do in a way with cryptocurrency, especially with this whole decentralizing the
I think that's a little different.
That's the beauty of cryptocurrency, is it sells you on the idea of decentralizing to get away from that. But then what they end up giving you instead is a bit of a bait and switch, where yes, it's decentralized, but it also means that anyone can steal it and there's nothing you can do about it, which happens all the time.
There you go, a little bit closer.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyone can steal it,
which
and there's nothing you can do about it.
That's already
right. Which a lot of people are.
All right.
You say money laundering? That's what's going on.
But cryptocurrency was created for billionaires to do peer-to-peer transfers of money, and
or not drug dealers to
cut out the middleman.
Used it.
Cut out the middleman.
But it was
I didn't know that. I don't know. I'm just taking a wild guess.
All right, guys. That wraps it up
already.
Yeah, man. Damn, we probably should do that one last.
Yeah, because I like that. Zach, well, you're gonna sit in on this one too, Zach.
Sure. We might have to do a part 2.
Yeah,
Zach,
we want to talk crypto. We want to talk crypto. Thank you.
Yeah.
Shout out to our guy Zach.
On outsourcing.
I know. That's what happens though. Shopkulture. You all know how we do it.
We're trying to, be on an actual schedule here rather than free ball. Because last episode,
I do want to get back to that also because I do have
like an hour and a half.
No, man, we went in.
All right, so what we something more tailored to the platform, and then you guys, we're gonna get more into stuff like this, but we're talking more, finances, getting the pop culture. You already know we're gonna pop our shit about that, but then tangible information that you can like use and take away and do something with, right? So like finances, y'all saw what happened with Doc and B with the with the politics.
I just went back to sleep. I was still mad. I didn't talk to Doc for a week, man.
Gentrification is good.
Wait, real quickly, is gentrification good?
No.
Doc had us like, wait, what?
I had about 4 people hit me up. They said, "Was he serious?" I said, "Bait and switch." That was a bait and switch.
There's a difference between having nice things and gentrification.
Big time. Okay. I won't.
We gotta create a topic. We'll have Zach back in,
Zach, you can go.
Then y'all can go nuts. Y'all can go in.
Oh,
all right. So we're on the last topic of the night. Do men get taken advantage of during divorce proceedings? Is this a thing or is it not? I have no dog in this fight because I have no idea. I've never been married. I'll let you guys take it away.
I do think a lot of men do. I think it's emotional time. I think with the emotion comes, man, some bad business decisions. And not only that.
Was the woman the bad business decision?
Well, I don't know.
Oh, okay. I'm just asking.
I do think, however.
Don't mind me.
He said, I do think there are some times, though, when you do hear stories that men do get taken advantage, especially by the system. The system is not geared toward men on that. do you think, Doc?
In what way?
Usually the settlement. Usually what you get left with. Now, I'm not minus. We're not talking children, though. So in all fairness, I do want to take that out. I'm just talking about a lot of the benefits when you see usually. And I've actually seen some agreements. So I'm like, damn, bro, you got took. And
Really?
Yeah.
I think a lot of that has to come down to your representation, though.
Okay, but that's again what you can afford. If you can't afford good representation, should that be reason why you get took? That's the problem. With the system, and what's going on with the system, because not everybody can afford representation.
Well, what would you say the average cost of representation is for
A divorce?
Yeah,
I'm about to look it up.
I would say a good representation.
average. I'm saying
About 15 racks.
so that for good representation.
I think solid. I think 15 and up.
Yeah, 15 is really, really low.
Oh, 15 and up. Okay, so
wait, what's the question again? What's the average?
What's the average? I want to.
How much does a divorce cost? Basically,
Legal representation.
Legal representation. That
average.
divorce.
Yeah.
That's separate again. Right? Good. Are we saying solid? I just said representation. Okay, let's go average then. So average would be above 15,000.
Yeah.
25,000.
Yeah, 20, I'd say.
So you think, Doc, that most people again would have $20,000 laying around to get? No, we're not talking divorce, legal representation, because a lot that money, a third of it has to come up is in up front. So a third of it has to.
No, you pay a certain retainer, and you pay as you go.
Right?
I got some information right here.
Okay, talk to me.
And this is from contractscouncil.com. Y'all can look it up and see if it's, the real deal. But I'm going to read this off. It says, what are typical attorney fees throughout the United States? Typical attorney fees usually range from about $100 an hour to $400 an hour. God damn. These hourly rates will increase with experience and practice per the area and specialization.
Well, there we go.
God damn.
Yeah, talk to us.
I think it's the wrong issue talking about because we look at when were the laws written around divorce proceedings?
Let me look at it.
Because
or maybe
I don't know exactly, but that will give us some insight because the relationship between men and women back then were different than it is now.
Somebody's talking about Doc. That's why he sold that crypto.
Who said that?
Man,
I want to know who said that.
Doc,
That was good.
You have to laugh at that one. Sometimes they need the man. Let's see. 25. Doc sold 19,000.
About to pay this shit off right now.
Hey, we're done. Oh, that's K. K, you cold with that one. That's funny shit.
But that would have been part of the divide, that 50-50. Everybody say relationship 50-50. No, that's divorce. Sometimes.
Y'all want to read that stat?
I can't see it.
Okay. Statistically wise, women tend to lose on average 20% of income upon divorce, while men tend to see an equally, if not more, increase after. But during an initial divorce, men tend to pay out more and lose more of their profits and investments.
Thank you, Echo, for that. So I guess point was made. Thank you, Echo.
What point was made?
It does cost.
Oh yeah, it costs.
It costs a lot of money.
But does it cost a woman the same amount of money?
Less.
Yeah, I agree with that. Much less.
But
of recent
divorce laws were
I was just putting the question out there.
I thought you
not saying I didn't know. I didn't have, my opinion on it.
Divorce laws were written before women were allowed to work.
Right.
We haven't changed them.
So we're talking about.
Good point.
So this is men's fault.
So in a way, men of the past are hurting men of now.
Right.
Interesting.
I agree with that. So I would agree that the laws need to be revised.
Well, definitely. It was written like hundreds of years ago.
Right. Who said that? Okay.
So he look at who said that. Look, Doc's still mad about it. She said it. It's Kay said it. Special K said that. Okay, so and I agree, Zach. Laws definitely need to be revised on that. But how so? How can you make that equally distributed when it comes to divorce because it's so emotional, and it's usually somebody at fault. I mean, let's just be honest. That's what people are looking at when they go to divorce is somebody at fault. The reason why this didn't work.
So there's this thing called a prenuptial, where you can sign a contract beforehand discussing all of the terms of divorce before you even get to that point.
I don't believe in those.
So that's fine. But those concepts of the way that we're straight up, none of us are rich enough to need one.
Mm-hmm.
That's the type of thing that you do typically when somebody makes so much more than the other person that a divorce can be a plan as opposed to something that happens.
Y'all better get on y'all Batman contingency.
Yeah.
Listen, no, that's why I say I don't believe in it. I just don't think that because everybody try to say, well, sign a prenup. I'm like, well, what? You don't really have. You're not making it, or you're not taking care. So
would you ever get married? Would you ever get married? You?
I'm too old now.
Oh, so then it would make sense.
Well, that too.
You kind of have a dog in this fight.
Okay,
but if you did, you wouldn't do a prenuptial agreement at all?
No, for what? Like what?
Prenuptial is basically saying that I don't know how things are going to go.
Yes.
So a lot of people don't want to sign them because it's sort of like saying this could end and we're going to prepare for that. But at the same time,
more than likely is going to end.
It's a damn insurance policy. It's a great big.
It's an insurance policy for sure. But there are really important ways that two individuals who are getting married can make an agreement that's not a legally binding contract, where you can discuss some of the things about your life ahead of time. And so when it comes to the laws, complete sidetrack, but back to the laws thing that you're talking about, how can it be changed? I don't know because I haven't been through a divorce. I'm married, but I haven't been through a divorce.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And that's dope.
But I see it as
more likely you didn't sign a prenup.
As I did not. My wife and I, neither of us had anything when we got married.
Okay. Yeah.
But I see it as it should be a discussion between two people rather than two parties with different power, which is kind of how the current situation is set up, where it's two parties with different power dynamics. And if you can even those power dynamics on the legal stage, you might get more equal outcomes.
And I think that's important. And even like I said, revising the laws, I think it needs to be revised with representation from men and women deciding, a more equitable way of a divorce. Because divorce is nasty. Usually most divorces.
Oh, yes, it is.
It is.
And people, a lot of prenups get thrown out because a couple could create a prenup when they get married, stay married for 15 or 20 years, accumulate assets during that marriage. Now, how do you navigate this prenup? Because none of these things were factored in.
Echo, you can also update those prenuptials too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who does that? I've never heard of that.
People with lots of money.
Right. I know if it was, look, this is what you came in with. This is what you leave it with.
That's sort of a different class of individual, I think.
One day I aspire to be in that class. No,
well, Janet Jackson, she signed a marriage contract. She married this billionaire, and he said, if you stay with me for 5 years,
a certain amount of time,
don't get this money.
I will give you $20 million. If you stay with me for 5 years and bear me an heir, I will give you $20 million, $50 million. 5 years, they divorced. He gave her the money.
Yeah, and
he has his heir.
And okay, and that's the beauty I think of a marriage. I think when you go in there with a prenup, you're already banking on failure than success, and if you're banking on failure, why get married? That's kind of how I look at it. Go in there.
Insurance policy.
Well, I don't see marriage.
You get that car, you might rent
marriage
it.
is not going to be. That's different to me than an insurance policy. This is somebody I'm supposed to love and cherish, and so
mighty interesting coming from Barry.
What is marriage besides a contract between two individuals? I don't think anyone else needs to have a say in what you think your marriage should be.
Yeah, but when stuff gets nasty and it's time to go to court.
But like, if you don't want a prenup, get someone who also doesn't want a prenup.
And find somebody that because a lot of times
it's not impossible, right?
It's not impossible. A lot of the times one person wants it and the other person don't. They had Steven Jackson, the basketball player.
Oh, and man, his take on that.
His take was hilarious. He said I gave her plenty of time to sign it, and she was trying to.
The day of, she was like, "No." He's like, "Well, then we ain't getting married."
We ain't
left
getting married
her right there.
and
Left
left
her
her
right
right
there at the
there.
altar.
So
But that was different because that was a situation. She was coming into a situation with him where he had already made that fortune.
he already made it, yeah. And so that's what we're talking about. That their power dynamic is totally different. He had all the money. I think at that time it was like $25 million as opposed to
Hey man, a
below
lot,
$1 million.
a lot of money. In other words,
Divorce courts were made for people with that power dynamic. So if you apply a standard divorce court without the prenup to somebody like that, it would make more sense. But it's being put in these situations where people maybe are not making as much, or sometimes the woman makes more than the man. And that creates a whole new problem with how the courts work.
Yeah. We all can get behind that. I totally agree. Would you agree? You agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, so did you guys ever ask the question, do men get taken advantage of during these divorce proceedings?
Yeah, we were.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And once
Well,
again,
mine cost me a lot of money, but I don't think I got taken advantage of.
What is taken advantage of?
Because that was my next question. Like,
There's a
in
whole
what
scale.
way? In what way?
I mean, I think that would be given into her getting whatever she wants through manipulative ways.
If she
Okay.
wanted to, could she have?
Oh no, she tried.
but again, you had. I'm just going to say expensive legal representation,
Bitcoin.
I did.
and that's what probably saved you.
Yeah,
If you
absolutely.
had a different legal representation, you probably would be saying, "I got taken advantage of."
Right.
So that's what I'm trying to kind of get at, is that it's depending on who's your legal representation. Just like O.J. Simpson, just like O.J. guilty as you know what, right?
Was he?
Okay.
He did it, and then wrote a book.
I was 9 when that was happening,
About
so
how
I don't
he
know.
did it.
I have no idea.
So
He looked innocent to me.
what does it say?
When he put the glove on, he's like, "See,
If it don't fit, don't commit. Don't.
he acted like he didn't. Yeah, I like it.
The glove don't fit, don't convict.
That was my favorite part
Get
of the
out
whole
of here,
trial. I was
man.
like, see, it doesn't fit.
Oh my goodness, that was funny. That was the best.
Facebook or Kalina says the thing about insurance is no one wants to think about it until it is needed. I agree. Oftentimes, divorce brings out the ugly in people, so maybe insurance isn't a bad idea.
Then let's have insurance on marriage, but don't call it prenup.
But
I don't know. Call it insurance, something different. I don't know. Prenup is the
It's connotations, right?
yeah, kind of yeah. Exactly.
the insurance policy for women. No, let me stop. To me, it depends partly on the couple and how amicable their divorce is.
I mean, yes, but most times
Amicable.
it's
I think I said that right.
yeah.
How
Amicable.
often is that though?
Yeah, most times.
Most times it's like Kalina was saying, it's ugly.
Absolutely.
Emotions cloud your decision making.
How often do we hear of a friendly divorce?
There are some.
They are, yeah.
There are some.
But the percentage of that is low. Like,
That's what I'm
it's
saying.
Very low. Like most times, people, unfortunately, and I mean it is. I mean, because you're giving up part of you, so I can see why it gets emotional. It gets emotional. Maybe after years, you guys become cool or whatnot, but usually when you're going through something like that, man, that's ugly.
Is it possible for couples to like, hey, in case something happens, this is what I'm gonna take, this is what you take, and then just to alleviate the stress and the BS of it all? I've heard of some couples like doing that. Yeah.
It depends on why they are getting divorced, I think.
Well, they're not getting divorced. It's just they're getting married. They're doing the prenup rules and things of that nature, but they're like almost as a catalyst. They're just like, well, I mean, we don't plan on divorcing, but in case something does happen, I'm gonna take this.
But that's what I'm saying. It depends on why are they splitting. I think why are you splitting?
You can't. They don't know why yet. You're talking. The why isn't.
But that's why I'm trying to
You
answer.
can write that into the contract. You
well,
can have
yeah, because people did do that. If it's cheating, if it's
cheating,
this,
right.
if it's that.
Oh, I see where you're getting.
Yeah,
at. So
that's what I'm
in case of infidelity, or
because people attach a lot more towards certain things than others, right?
Right.
So
and that's another reason some prenups have been thrown out, because caveats, details been put in there like that, in case of this, in case of that. And in a no-fault state like Washington, it's not considered. Why?
Oh,
Irreconcilable differences. That's it.
oh, damn. All right.
I think that's good. I don't think that should play into.
Right.
I don't think that should play into it. Now, some people disagree, but do you think that should play into it? Or
I honestly don't think that it's so it can, but I really do believe that most of relationship stuff should be between the individuals, because every situation is different, every couple is different, and it all depends on how well you can communicate with your significant other. And if you can communicate with them well, then you can establish some of these things ahead of time without it becoming
I would agree.
we're going to get divorced someday.
yeah, I mean, I agree with that. But yeah,
Oh,
Like
man.
my wife and I, every year we're together, it feels stronger than the last. But we've had conversations about what would happen if.
she must be watching. She will.
But it's just like, what would happen if? And it's not because we want it to happen or think it's going to, but because we like to have all our bases covered.
And it's kind of, I guess, what Kay was saying, which makes sense. You know, it is like an insurance policy.
Contingency plan.
So you're having those type of discussions. A
Be ready
lot
so-
of times we don't plan.
And be ready so you ain't got to get ready.
And it's not, the other thing is like all this assets, it's tied to our ability to survive. Your food, water, shelter, healthcare, like those things are things that you need to get like settled. You need to have enough to be okay afterwards. And so there's a lot of emotions and stake that comes with that as well, is will I be okay afterwards financially?
Especially nowadays, where it's almost like you do need two incomes, like, you know, to really, you know, as somebody who lives on their own, it's like, yeah, thinking about it, I'm like, now I can see the value somewhat in that, because two incomes makes a whole hell of a difference.
It's basically required in today's economy.
Right. Teamwork make the dream work.
How much do you need to make in order to live on your own completely? Yearly salary.
I would say comfortably.
Yeah. How much?
At least 100,000.
Single?
Yeah.
I think comfort has a lot of play here. The definition of comfort.
Okay.
Yeah, because your definition of comfort can be way different from mine.
Doc,
It's true though.
It's not a lot of people.
Doc said, "I need a yacht. I need
The median household income.
I need the country club. I need."
Hey, wait. He looked at the camera serious. 100,000
For a single.
I was thinking like 50, maybe 60K.
Oh wait.
I mean, but
Zach played it cool. He tried to like, yeah, well.
but if you look at it, a single man, you want to live some sort of quality of life. Single person, you
Right.
want to generate some kind of savings. You want to have recreation and travel.
Okay.
You want to have food and shelter.
That is true, and it depends on where you're at too. Because someone said Seattle, 100K.
Right.
Yeah.
Seattle. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
but okay, when you say standard, I'm not talking about you have to work overtime, because
No.
people trying to
I'm saying
I'm talking
just
about
annual
when you can-
income.
not work overtime,
Yeah.
right? 'Cause that's taking away a standard of living. You
The
say
other thing
whatever.
about Seattle has a median household income of around 96,000 per year. That means half of all households with one or more people working in it make less than that.
Damn.
That's a lot of people who are not making anywhere near that.
But the rich kind of, I don't know, because
That's why I use median.
yeah, but people don't understand median. No,
Right.
that's-
Well, break it down. That's
Yeah,
why
so
we're having a
median-
conversation.
Median is the if you take the median is the midpoint,
Right.
where half of all are below and half of all are above, versus the mean, or which is a different type of average, where you take the sum of all of them and divide it by the total number. So if there's 100 people, you know, they make all these different money. Let's say the median is 50,000 per year. That means half make less than 50,000, half make more than 50,000. In our system, you could
but
say
the ultra rich will skew that all.
well, that would be no, they barely skew that at all. The mean is what gets skewed by the rich people, where the mean would be something like 180,000 per year, because 2 or 3 people make so much money that it tips the scales.
But yeah, but what people usually go on is what though?
Well,
Usually when you look in the newspaper, the news,
it depends on what message they want to sell you.
well, they're
If-
trying to sell you success.
if
They're trying to sell you.
They're trying to tell you that, if they're trying to scare you, then they're going to give you the accurate median. If they're trying to say people are doing well, they're going to give you the mean, because the mean is higher, the median is lower. But the point of that is more to say that I would personally think that your income for one person should cover food, housing, a good healthcare, the ability to put something away for your future, and maybe a little bit of something that makes you human, right? That's your fun, your vacation, your hobbies.
Life
Right.
insurance.
And
But Doc might be right though. If you look at it, he said over 100,000.
If
So
you're over here, yeah.
so then you look at not just a house, but you look at what's the smallest thing you could possibly live in and be happy in. Is a 1-bedroom apartment big enough for you?
I think so for
Yep.
one. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Really, it really is. To be honest.
But then look at
We
the
always
cost
look
of,
at big.
look at
We
the
don't
cost
need
of
big.
rentals.
They're the same. Yeah.
Yeah, $1,500 a month starting for the smallest 1-bedroom you can find.
Right.
Some places way was. Yeah.
And then you
Yeah.
get a studio with a view that's going to cost you $2,000.
Yep,
Still cheaper than a house. So.
not anymore.
It's not.
If you bought a house a while ago, it's
Well,
not.
okay, but
If
we're
you
not
bought
going
your
around
house-
that. We're talking about right now. Yes.
because
The way interest rates and everything. Yes.
Yeah,
it's
because the
better
interest
now.
rates changed within the last 18 months.
Yeah.
2 years ago, if you bought a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,400
But you're not
square
getting
foot
a view.
house
I did.
for $475 or whatever, your mortgage payment is about $2,000 a month.
I can confirm roughly because that's roughly what I paid for roughly the house I have.
See,
Okay, but you
And
got a
that's-
view. That's
it
what we're
doesn't
talking about.
matter.
Well, we're talking about
Yes.
a view.
I'm
You said a
talking
view.
about a house.
So
You
I'm
just
not-
talking
And
about
you're
a regular
building
house.
equity, but I was
Yeah.
the point I was making is
You
that
said a
you
view, and I'm like, you
can-
know,
a
it's more.
studio with the view is going to cost you $2,000.
More.
When you can get a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,400 square foot, with interest rates were 3.5.
Brand new house.
yeah,
Or
Not
older
brand
house.
new.
1975.
Right, a house.
So you know, it is a house,
with a
but
yard and
yes.
a fence.
Yep.
yeah.
And building equity.
And our mortgage doesn't go up like all of our friends' rents did.
Right.
All of
And
our
in
friends
10
now pay more than
years,
us.
Your rent's going to be around $2,000 if you don't take second mortgages out.
Yeah,
But-
I guess.
But your
this is how I
property
always look at
value is going to increase.
Yeah, and I agree with that. But
And that's how we got on that
alternative-
gentrification thing. And
Oh, look, exactly. Doc's still mad about it.
Gentrification is good.
Yeah, it's good though. It's good.
Building housing is good.
It's good for everybody.
But the way we got on gentrification was the central area was owned by all these predominantly black
Somebody
families
wait, hold
in
on,
the
real
60s
quickly.
and 70s.
I just bought a house at the ass end of Tacoma for over $500,000. Who was that?
That's Kalina, I believe.
Well, the interest rates in the last 18 months have
And
went up.
I'm sure it's a beautiful house. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
500,000. But now a $500,000 house at 7%, you're going to be paying $3,200 a month.
I got a house 2.5 years ago at 1.8% interest rate.
Damn,
It will
You
not
won.
be like that for a while.
you won.
So
It's
so,
locked.
Yeah, but I'm just saying for somebody new,
1.8.
Like
That's a
Kate
big
came
win.
in afterward. Now she got a 500. It's different now.
Right, I'm going to get into another. But when I sold last year, right after interest rates shot up, so I said I got to wait. I may have to wait 2 years. So, but I will not.
It's an ongoing joke, y'all. I know gentrification isn't good. It's an ongoing joke based off of last episode.
So if you're making
Last
$80,000 a year, go to a realtor and see what you qualify for.
Chris, we got one. Chris McCain. Where are you? Paging Chris McCain. He's gonna give us. He's gonna give us the deal. Yeah.
You're making $100,000. I mean, you're making $80,000 a year. What do you qualify? What do you qualify to purchase at $80,000 a year?
What do you think, Zach?
So I bet you that puts you around a $350,000.
No,
at
not
most.
even that.
That's not that
You're
though.
right about 200,000.
290. I think I seen it was like 290 to 315.
800 square foot condo at that. 219.
I think it depends on your bank.
Yeah, and your debt
Like,
to income ratio
Yeah.
and all that. But
Yeah,
I
that's
think
true.
These 6 and 7% interest rates.
Okay.
Okay.
Echo says square footage and land trumps a view, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Buying a home with some space and land instead of buying or renting a condo with a view is a better investment
Absolutely.
long term.
Hell yeah. Dogs can run around, kids can play, equity building.
I mean,
Anything.
I guess. I mean,
It's a
I know,
that's a no-brainer.
I know a few people got views and they sold real high. I mean, it depends on where you're talking about.
Right.
You're talking about Seattle, Alki, West Seattle. I mean, those are areas, those are hot markets.
It's
So
also the benefit of living in, say, medium-rise condo where you have a walkable city with all of your amenities within walking
that's a
distance.
big difference. Yeah.
That's a big
Yeah,
difference
if
too.
that's what you like.
Yeah.
That's what you like.
Yeah.
For me, I never want to live way out. That's just not my thing. Each is their own, you know. So it's all what you're looking for.
Because I like to go out in the backyard and sit down with my coffee in the morning, hear the birds tweet,
Yeah.
my draws, you know.
Oh Lord. Okay.
I don't want to hear cars.
But this is good conversation,
Yeah.
and this is what stock culture again. I like it. We change it up a little bit, talk some money.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, everybody gets alive. Doc's still mad about gentrification, though. I ain't gonna bring it up, Doc.
Well, we want to know because I think Doc was going to tell us his political party or who he voted for. Doc, man, hit B with that information because B has been waiting all week.
Listen,
Just go ahead.
I don't affiliate with any party. I told you that.
So it shouldn't affect him. So go ahead and let him know.
So I mean,
shit.
you gonna put me on the spot?
We talked about this.
I kind of want to hear this now.
We talked about this last episode.
Well, I said last election, not this. Last 2 elections, 3 elections.
Okay.
I voted Democrat. Me looking at the economy and its effect it has on me, my surroundings, and my situation, I'm not saying I'm to one political party, but I can say I won't be voting Democrat.
Oh, well.
Let me get out of here. So I'm looking for a new co-host. Where's the Democrat? Nah, I'm playing, guys. I'm playing. I mean, and that's a fair. God,
but the why is the important. The why is the important as to why you feel that.
I'm gonna have to ask you next week about the policies because.
Look, people are shocked. Wait, what? I don't know who said that, but they're like, what?
Wait, hold on, real quick, Zach.
Yes.
What do you think about this? What he said? I want to hear from Zach. And then, damn it, we're always It always gets good when we're about to leave. Okay.
There's no meaningful difference between the political parties.
Right.
They're going to give you this roughly the same outcome. It's just that the red color is going to make things go faster, and the blue color is going to put a rainbow on it and make it go a little slower. But it's the same outcome.
Or just bullshit you.
Yeah, they're both bullshitting you.
Yeah,
I agree with that, but we still got to make a choice.
You do, and so
I think that
it comes to harm reduction. It comes down to which one is going to hurt the fewest amount of people, and then. But if that's how you're voting, then that's
choose your poison.
Our system.
Ooh, let me get on.
I'm sorry, say that because I was talking over you. What'd you say?
Yeah, I said if you're voting based on which is going to do the least amount of harm, it's an indictment of our system that you get to choose between two old dudes that aren't going to help anyone for real.
Well, it's what the old dudes represent behind them, though. What pushes it forward? Because it always comes down. It still comes down.
Do you remember back when Biden was running? It was 2020 where he said nothing will meaningfully change if you elect me, and he's been right. Nothing has meaningfully changed.
That's very true.
Is that? But let me ask you this though: is that good or bad though?
It's bad.
Bad.
Yeah.
We want them to actually do things to help people.
Right. That's why we're putting them in these positions.
It's like under the Biden administration, he's keeping a lot of the same policies Trump did, letting a lot of some of the things he did that were good actually expire. And so you get the situation where it's like the economy feels worse off because the economy was not the direction wasn't changed at all. It's been on the same track since the Reagan administration.
And that's the thing. It's like people always want to say it's one or the other. I agree with that. I will say though, when it comes to like certain policies of the Republican Party, I'm fundamentally it's just
I agree.
It's bad.
It's
and for people that sit there
actively
and
hurting people.
It really is. Most people. Now, if you're 1% or maybe 2%, you're happy. If I was 2%, I probably would be happy. I'll be like, okay, well, but we're not. We got to be honest with where we're at.
And even if you were, are you happy hurting others so that you can have a slight tax break when you're already so well off that it doesn't make a difference?
But they don't care. That's
right.
That's the issue.
Just because you're 1% doesn't mean you have to not care, though.
But they don't.
They don't. They don't. But
because they could change. You could change a lot of some of these policies. You can put into action. It's not being done.
But on the flip side of that,
sorry guys,
there's a trickle down effect to some of these policies because if you have huge
trickle down, you're talking Reagan stuff. Now you better stop.
If you have huge developers, real estate moguls, they are subject to the same interest rates, maybe a little slightly lower than we are. So if interest rates are down, prime interest rate around 2%, they're making billions, but there's a trickle down and we are still affected positively because we are still, those interest rates are still accessible to us.
So we're saving a few thousand so they can make a few billion.
Yeah, exactly.
I could care less about them. Long as I can save. If you get to the point,
will the recession happen regardless?
Yes.
Yeah, it happens.
There you go.
It's a cycle.
Regardless, guys.
It relies on it. It relies on it. You can't have our system without recessions every 10 to 20 years.
Right.
And we're like right on the dot of 20 years.
Yeah. And a lot of the reason, like a lot of fiscal policy in the last 10 years have been pumping up our our markets to try and prevent the recession from happening in the last administration.
Well, it's pumped all this fake money all over.
So we got the situation where we have been postponing this recession that's been
It was going to
looming
happen
for a long time with using fiscal policy. So it's going to hit harder.
And another thing is, back in the day, it was always like Republicans were so fiscally conservative and great on the money
They never
managing.
have been.
They never have been. Like,
No.
never.
If you actually look at the stats, and I'm not saying this is better or worse, but Democrats have always had a more balanced budget than Republicans. It's always been tax cuts. Republicans give tax cuts, which cuts
But
your income.
Democrats went over in the services department.
Right,
And that's what is always,
you end up with Democrats who actually give take more taxes from the super wealthy so they can actually balance their budget. And then the Republicans cut the taxes for the super wealthy, which creates more profits for them, but it hurts the budget. So if you actually look at the budget of the deficit over the last probably 50 years, you can actually track negative deficit is Republican, positive deficit is Democrat.
and that's Shopkulture, folks. 101. That's good stuff.
Republicans have never been fiscally conservative. They're all about defense spending.
Yes.
Doc, so you gotta come back to Democrats, bro. That's what.
I am not a Democrat, but I'll always vote Democrat.
No, you heard.
Wait, time out.
Democrats
Zach, no.
have a way of creating programs. I am for helping disadvantaged and poor people, not
Those people.
to give them a hand out, but to give them a hand up. Don't just create programs that are going to and just throw money at the problem. Create programs that are going to get them out of the situation that they're in.
That requires them to make sacrifices.
That's a lot of sacrifice.
And they're not doing that. They're not
And
doing
infrastructure has to change.
Right.
And 4 years, 4 years. No, it's not happening like that. I agree with that. I agree
too.
I totally agree with you on that, Doc.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, that was good, guys. We can talk. Man,
Good topic,
we started this
y'all.
at the
Good
end.
topics.
We should have been. This was good. And what do you guys see? And what do you guys? And I always want to say this. I don't subscribe to any party. And Jack said that he only votes. Usually.
I'm not a Democrat, but
But
I'll
you-
almost always vote Democrat
Okay.
if a Republican's the other option.
Any Republican have you ever voted for that you thought was good or
I have,
decent enough?
I have never voted Republican.
You know the one I liked a lot, and I want to tell you guys. I want to have to be honest with you. I want to get canceled. Mitt Romney, I like.
Why?
I just thought that he had some pretty forward-thinking money thinking solutions for smaller infrastructures for businesses that I thought that was pretty good.
I can see that.
Yeah, and I really was like, okay. The problem with him, he couldn't speak, and he was going against the train Obama. You weren't going to. It didn't matter.
Also, how do you feel about Obamacare?
Ooh, that's a total.
That was Romney's plan.
Didn't you have a whole spiel on that, B?
Yeah.
So regardless of how you feel about it, that was a Romney plan. So your opinion of Romney should also reflect that that's how he thinks, is how Obamacare is.
But I was also talking businesses. But if we're going to talk about healthcare, to me, healthcare
Talk
is
about it as a whole.
Well, no, because there's still no. You can't.
That's the whole topic.
Yeah. We can go on.
But yeah, I can see why you like Mitt Romney. I understand.
All the way, or just elements of Mitt
No,
Romney?
you said elements
Oh, okay.
of it. I did. I like. I still do actually. I actually still. Yeah. Anyways, we going. You got quiet on this. Is anybody there?
Sam said, "Always vote Democrat, Doc."
I mean, but that's the problem that we're kind of in, is where we're only giving our votes away, though.
Someone
I
says
feel like
Republicans
that's
have.
what you're kind of doing, Zach. When you're kind of just giving the vote away, just saying, well.
So that's part of the problem as well, is that you look at it and there has not ever been a Republican that's, when you look at them on a policy issue, that has been less damaging.
Oh, less damage in terms of what?
Right. And at the end of the day, it's not just about the Republican you're voting for, it's about the party, because they'll always vote along party lines on every issue, regardless of what they say.
Therefore, don't just look at the president. You got to look at the Senate and the House.
Yeah, absolutely.
And who you're putting in
And
these
locally,
seats.
here's the other thing.
Grassroots.
Here's the other thing. Locally is actually where your vote has an impact.
Right.
Yes.
Your
Exactly.
national vote,
Right.
almost nothing. But
Right.
locally, you make a real difference.
Yeah.
And that's where the media is really, I think, bamboozled a lot of people, because they don't even look at grassroots.
They don't.
No, they don't.
They don't even care. And hopefully, maybe on this show, we're going to try to get some grassroots politicians on. I think that's the next step. So Anyways, guys, thank you guys once again. Signing in, Shop Culture. What's your policies? What's your politics? Maybe we get somebody running locally. I'm back on. What do you think about the Libertarian, real quick? Libertarian Party.
Libertarian is a pseudo far right party.
Oh, ding ding.
Uh-oh.
Oh, let me turn this around.
Yeah, libertarianism is a reduction of regulations, but
Federal government, which
not just federal government, but everything.
but mostly federal
Mostly
government.
federal government.
Mostly federal government.
But if you look at what they're looking at, most of the regulations that are there are things that are there because someone got hurt and the regulations preventing that from happening in the future.
Okay.
And most of the regulations they want gone are for their own personal interests, for things that won't hurt them. For example, if you look at libertarianism as a concept, it's like, so you don't want the FDA to exist.
Well, when I went to they actually talked about that. They want a lot of parts of it not to exist, so they want it to be, which I agree
for the way they want.
But the problem is, there's too many of them though, because
the libertarianism ideology doesn't want. Like I know libertarians want it, but libertarianism as an ideology doesn't want those things.
The libertarianism is trash.
I agree. It's debates. It's you're debating over things for the purpose of debate, not the topic itself.
I don't think it's trash per se. I think that there's parts of it though that the federal government, a lot of federal government doesn't do anything.
But that's also by design.
But that's the problem too.
Yeah. So the problem isn't
that's the
problem. The federal government. It's making the federal government work for the people.
Okay, but you have to dismantle. Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Libertarianisms don't want to replace the government. They just want to dismantle it and leave it as is. Kind of like anarchists, right?
Well, they want to change a lot of it and then, like you said, leave it as is. But I think that's probably the best way to go, especially nowadays.
So the libertarians that say they want to rebuild the government in its place aren't real libertarians.
But there's a lot of people that's not real. Let's
I agree. People don't know the meaning of words, so they assign meaning.
Socialism, communism. How many times you have this debate, we go back and forth.
Right, but like libertarianism is very close to anarchism. But anarchism is a far left. So how do you get to the situation where this far left thing is similar to the far right thing? And it's because it comes down to not liking the government is what keeps them in common.
There's a link between white supremacists and libertarians.
Yes.
Ron Paul's earliest supporters were neo-Nazis.
Some Black Panthers actually are libertarians too. So I don't know.
A lot of Black Panthers are libertarians.
So I don't. Wait, what
most
about
of them, as an organization, is communist.
What? Yeah. Well, they align.
And that's
with
what scares the hell out of America.
Well, I mean, we have a lot of socialistic views.
Yeah.
But the United States government only kills the people who are a threat to them.
Yeah, they get rid of them.
And throughout history, they've almost always been socialists and communists.
All right, guys, we got to get going. Thank you guys once again. You know what it is, Shop Culture. We went a little bit over. Great talk, great conversation.
It's always
hope you guys liked it.
Yeah,
we loved it. Shop Culture next Tuesday, 8:00.
Yeah, Tuesdays 8 p.m.
We're gonna get a little grimy next week. I got some.
Get us in the algorithm, y'all, and like, share, subscribe on the channel, hit that notification bell so that way when we go on air, you are notified when we go on air.
So you don't hit me, inbox me and say when we getting bro.
Yeah. You can
Tuesday.
Hit that notification bell. When we go on, you'll know when we're going on. Outside of that, good talk, y'all.
Thank you.
Zach, man, we appreciate you. Yeah, we got to have you back.
Great
on,
show,
bro.
great discussion.
Yeah,
and we got a good one for y'all next week.
Oh,
I don't even know what the hell's going on. I don't even know what they're talking about.
Valentine's.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna get my R&B on for y'all.
Oh, damn.
Go to some Barry White.
Oh snap!
Oh snap! All right. Okay. Just getting these last bit of comments here. Okay, Sam is gonna be here next week. Cool. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and sign off, y'all. You guys be good, be safe, and same place, same time.
A lot of comments. Keep commenting.
Yeah, keep commenting. We'll check y'all out afterwards. Yeah, and with that, we are out. Peace.
Good job. That's good.